Rock Your Biz. Rock Your Biz, where women get together to help each other grow their business. Networking, boot camps, seminars. Rock Your Biz with Tracy Sheldrake.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I am your host, Tracy Sheldrake, and you are listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM. Rock Your Biz is a community of like-minded women in business that are interested in collaborating, supporting each other, and growing their business. We'll be showcasing these amazing women and how they help each other and grow their business. Today we are talking to Karen Fleischer from Easy Sweets. Karen is going to share her story of entrepreneurship and how she built her business. So thank you for joining us, Karen.
Thank you, Tracy.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
So I own a bakery called Easy Sweets. I started baking from home when my children were little, and grew from there. I started renting catering kitchens. I had actually approached a business that was well known in Toronto to produce a gluten-free product line for them.
Oh, okay.
And that was 4 years ago. We then started to talk, and the previous owner wanted out of the business. So she said, would you be interested in buying the whole business? I said, absolutely. I jumped on it, bought the entire business out, which at the time I was making waves in the world. So in that dessert cake business, people were starting to hear who I was on my small end.
Right.
And I ended up buying them out.
Okay.
2 years later, we realized we needed to grow. And so we expanded from 1,800 square feet in a retail space to 5,000 square feet.
Wow. So what was the inspiration behind all of this?
The inspiration was my daughter. I have two children. My daughter is almost 10 and my son is almost 7. My daughter has severe food allergies. Okay. And the basis of the business is we're peanut, tree nut, sesame, and dairy free. And I also have a gluten-free kitchen, which is free of those allergens as well.
Okay. Interesting. So as the CEO, how are you implementing your vision? Do you have a philosophy or vision that you're...
We do.
Okay.
It is to be in a environment where an allergy person doesn't have to worry about the food in front of them. There's a tremendous amount of anxiety and fear that comes around food, which is such a staple in everything we do. I mean, birthday party without cake, Christmas without dinner. How do you do all of that in a safe environment? There's a lot of anxiety and fear that goes along with it. So we try and provide the sweetest part of a celebration in cake and dessert, which is free of those major allergens, to be able to have that. Imagine, a birthday cake, a birthday party without birthday cake. Who doesn't want birthday cake on your birthday?
Absolutely.
So we have the ability to create those special moments for families.
Okay.
And we also have the ability to create those moments in a safe environment.
Right.
So we actually created an event studio to be able to have celebrations and events and parties in our own space, which is a safe environment.
Right. Okay. And where is this?
We're located at Dufferin and Steeles in Toronto.
Okay. And so at Rock Your Biz, we talk a lot about branding and being distinctive. What makes your company stand out?
The fact that nobody does what we do. There's a lot of nut-free products on the market. There's a lot of dairy-free products on the market. There are very few sesame seed-free products on the market in the fresh bakery world. And there is no event space like ours. So we actually have a full cooking studio in that space.
Oh, wow.
So you can come in and do cooking classes and baking classes and workshops and all that sort of stuff in a free environment. And nobody has done that to date with all of those precautions taken.
Right. Okay. So you've been around, how many years did you say you've been in business?
So I bought out the business 4 years ago.
Okay.
And we actually rebranded the entire business at the same time we moved.
Okay.
And changed it from the previous name to Easy Sweets.
Okay.
All at the same time.
Okay. And is it just you? Do you have
just
a team?
me. Okay. I have an amazing team of 15 people.
Okay.
And my team is incredible. I couldn't do what I do without my team.
Okay. Interesting. Now, so is your whole team, they're all bakers?
No, they aren't all bakers. I have everything from bakers to program directors. So we run regular programs in the event studio.
Okay.
For kids and adults. I have marketing. I have reception and front desk and orders. And it's a crew. It's really a crew that takes the customer from beginning to end, and it doesn't matter what the customer is.
Right. Okay. So you've been in business for a while. I'm sure you have some amazing testimonials.
We do have some amazing testimonials. One of my favorite was actually from a mistake.
Oh,
one of my favorite testimonials was from a cake that got the wrong picture on it.
Oh,
birthday cake that had the wrong picture. It was the same characters that they wanted, but the wrong picture of those characters. And we made it right. We fixed the problem. Absolutely. We corrected the problem. And that's one of my favorite testimonials. One of my other testimonials is we do a lot of work with Sick Kids Hospital.
Okay, good.
And I get anonymous testimonials because we are working towards being their birthday cake sponsor.
Oh, that's nice.
And so they will order non-descriptive birthday cakes for children. Generally, they're end-of-life cakes, unfortunately. Yeah. So we don't get a lot of information, but I have gotten anonymous thank yous for making it so special, which makes a sad situation from the parents of the child.
That's nice. So what would be how would you market? Are you all social media?
We use multiples depending on the environment that we're working in. So for retail, we're finding social media works very well.
Okay.
We're finding in event market, direct to customer emails and newsletters, for example, brides and weddings and those sorts of things, with ideas and examples of stuff that we do.
Okay.
And direct marketing, one-to-one business in a wholesale capacity, because we have multiple channels with which we work with.
Okay, very cool. So you're listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM, and I'm here with Karen Fleischer from Easy Sweets, and we're talking about how she got started in her business and how she markets her business, because we're always interested in that. So how do you handle the events, such as birthday parties and all these fun things? You did mention you have the event space.
Yes.
So are you booked in too far in advance, or?
We book about 2 to 3 months in advance.
Okay, wow. Yep.
We have multiple packages for birthdays. Okay. We do kids' birthdays, we do adult birthdays, we do bridal showers.
Nice.
We've done a bunch of 40th and 50th birthday parties where we bring in our executive chef and he cooks a meal in front of you, really fancy high-end dinner. We bring in a cake decorator so you can do fondant cake decorating.
Okay.
We have the ability to cook along with the chef as well.
Oh, that's nice.
So I have 6 interactive work. We do specialty
with the
nights.
celebrations in general, are you just providing the space, or are you're taking care of the decorating and
everything?
Everything.
We can, in our own space, we do everything. Okay. When we go out to do events, when we do weddings and sweet tables, we can do both. We can do both decor for a sweet table, or we can deliver your desserts that are usually themed. A lot of stuff we do is themed and colored based.
Okay. So now, whether I'm having my event at your place or I'm just ordering the baked goods, do you do tastings?
We do tastings.
Okay.
We do, depending on the caliber of the event and depending on what you're doing. If you're having a wedding and you're doing a wedding cake, we do a cake testing. If you're doing a sweet table and candy bar, we'll do, a bigger thing. We're actually working on a bride's night in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Like an open house?
An open house for brides to be able to come in and do sweet table tastings.
Okay. So now, aside from celebrations, birthdays, weddings, all these 50th anniversaries, do you also rent the space?
We do rent the space.
Okay. So just in general, so like a networking group could come in, or
quite a few, actually. I have a bunch of different nonprofit groups and networking groups that come in. Okay. We try and run a monthly girls' night out as well.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
And I allow vendors to come in free of charge and make a donation to Sick Kids.
Oh, that's
And there's
nice.
usually a charity component to it through Sick Kids.
So is Sick Kids strictly who you work with?
We almost exclusively do all of our charity work with Sick Kids. I made a commitment to them to be able to have a purpose. It mostly focuses on their allergy center and allergy research.
Right.
So it has dual purpose. There's hundreds of thousands of children in Canada and people in general that have food allergies.
Yeah.
And there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Right.
And a huge component of food allergies is education. And they donate a lot of money towards allergy education. And if we can help that in any way, we do. And so the reason I built the studio was to be able to help families transition into that allergy world. Once you've seen your child suffer from a life-threatening food allergy and you realize that a bite of a sandwich or a piece of cake or a glass of milk can almost kill your child, it's such extreme, and food is such a huge, huge component of our life.
Right.
To see that happen in front of you as a child or to experience as an adult, there's a huge rise of adults and allergies. And that's what we focus on. That is our focus. And Sick Kids has one of the largest allergy centers in Canada.
I didn't even realize that. That's amazing.
And one of the largest, I think they're the top 5 in North America for allergy research.
Okay. So how do you, I mean, it's nice when we know we're going to your place that's, you know, we have this, it's all, you know, allergy free. How does was it your daughter?
My daughter.
Your daughter, how does she deal with that when she's out at other people's places? Is she just aware of what she should stay away from?
She's aware, and she's her own self-advocate.
Okay.
So I've taught her the words to ask. I've taught her the questions to ask. I've minimized the anxiety, and I help other families do exactly the same.
Right.
Within the studio. So we bring in families and help them transition into the world. And that's what I spend a lot of my time focusing on, is coaching families to do that and how to go back to living your life, how to go on a sleepover, how to go to grandma's, how to go to Christmas dinner, how to travel the world.
Yeah.
People live in their bubble and they don't leave.
Yeah, it's scary and you don't know what to do. And most kids don't know what to ask. So you as the parent end up having to, every time they go somewhere, tell everybody.
Right. So I've taught my daughter to be empowered by it.
Okay.
And
cool.
Not realize she's not lacking anything, you know, the missing out on, you know, the chocolate bar here, there's something else a few minutes later, and to know what to look for and stand up for herself. And not feel different or less than because of it. Absolutely. But to see it as a positive versus a negative.
Absolutely. Awesome. So we're going to take a quick break here, and we come back. We're going to talk to Karen a little bit about all the varieties of sweets she has for us.
We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast.
You asked, we listen. It's Rise and Shine, Stouffville.
Good morning. This is your wake-up call.
Weekday mornings starting at 5. We kickstart your mornings with great music. Hey Jude. Local news, local traffic. Oh, did we mention great music? It's Rise and Shine, Stouffville. Weekday mornings starting at 5.
And that's the way it is.
Hey, honey, guess what?
What?
Whistle Radio has a new morning show.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and now we finally have something to listen to every day from Monday to Friday from 7 to 9.
Yeah, great. So now I don't have to listen to you babble all the time in the morning.
Is that so? Tune in Monday to Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. for news, sports, weather, entertainment, and other reports with Stouffville's finest.
You're listening to Whistle FM. News, weather, traffic, everything Stouffville. CIWS FM 1029.
Welcome back. You are listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM. Don't forget to get in touch with us at rockyourbiz.ca. We'd like to network with you on and offline. So Karen, just before the break, we were talking about how you got your business going. Love the story. So tell us a little bit more about Easy Sweets. What does your menu look like?
Our menu is anything from dessert for 1 to 1,000. It can be anything from cookies, which we all love, to 4, 5, 6 tier wedding cakes. Okay. We do cupcakes. We do a variety of different dessert options in different sizes. So I can do birthday cakes. I can do individual mousse cups. I can do anything you can think of.
Right.
Everything is peanut, tree nut, sesame, and dairy free.
Ooh, okay.
And we also can do almost anything gluten-free as well in our gluten-free facility.
Okay. So as a concerned parent, how do you ensure that it's allergy friendly?
So we work very closely with our suppliers, and we collect allergy statements from every product that comes in our door.
Okay.
And I double check. Being an allergy mom, the saying is allergy moms do better investigation than the FBI. And I go to those lengths to investigate everything that walks through every ingredient that comes in, that I've checked and double checked, and can ensure that if I wouldn't feed it to my child, it wouldn't come in our door.
Right. Okay.
So although we are not completely free of all of the top 10 allergens, we try and eliminate the ones that we feel we can and safely eliminate.
Okay. So is that the difference between allergy-free and allergy-friendly?
Correct.
Okay. What would those allergens be?
So the allergens are eggs, milk, wheat, tree nuts, peanuts, sesame, soy, seafood, mustard.
Okay.
We have done quite often, we do things made without egg by request.
Okay.
And we take the precautions. We're not an egg-free facility, but we do take those precautions. And we have customers that call and say, how long do your things bake for? So some kids can actually tolerate egg, especially if it's baked to a certain amount. It changes the protein structure of the egg. And so over a certain amount of time, that protein is actually denatured. And so people...
How would someone even find that out? You know, your child's allergic to eggs.
Research.
How would you even find out there's different variations?
It's research.
Okay.
It's a lot of research, and it's within that allergy world that people know this. You know, under a certain amount of time, the protein structure is still there. Over a certain amount of time by heat, it's denatured, and therefore children can eat it if it's within a baked good. So I have customers that can eat our birthday cakes, but they can't eat our cupcakes.
Wow. Okay.
Or they can eat our brownies, but they can't eat our cookies based on the amount of time that it's baked.
Okay. But that's what holds up true to your testimonials too, is that they trust you.
They trust.
Right?
There's amount of trust, and being an allergy parent, I understand it. I get it.
You're
there's
gonna
this
insure it.
I'm going to insure it, and there's this understanding of getting it. I speak that language. I've seen the opposite end, and I can relate to that parent that, you know, is petrified of putting anything in their child's mouth.
Right. So I didn't hear gluten on the list. What's the difference between gluten and wheat?
So gluten is a protein found within certain grains. Wheat is, because wheat is predominantly in our diet, it's also found in barley, rye. Oats is on the edge. Some people can tolerate oats, some cannot. I actually was gluten-free for many years and lived gluten-free for many, many years.
Okay.
So when I was gluten-free, there was nothing on the market.
Right.
Absolutely nothing on the market that was gluten-free except pasta. Actually, you could find gluten-free pasta 20 years ago. That was it. So I took on, when I bought out the previous owners, they had a secondary kitchen that I immediately closed, scoured everything from the ceiling to every nook and cranny with a soft bristled brush, and converted it into a gluten-free space, because there was such a need to have quality baked goods that's gluten-free.
Right.
Now in our facility, we have 2 production facilities, our main kitchen and our gluten-free kitchen. And we even take the precautions that you can't be in our main kitchen before you've been in the gluten-free kitchen. So you can go in the gluten-free kitchen first, do your work in there, and then leave. We have 5,000 square feet that are divided up.
So do we have security, or is this the honor system?
When we do our staff training and the flow of the way things work in the bakery, that there's no outside food allowed in the facility.
Okay.
And first thing in the morning, in order to actually access our gluten-free kitchen, a lot of times they will walk through the short way, which is through our main production facility.
Right.
And in order to not pick up even airborne traffic of gluten, they cover their booties. They cover their feet, their shoes with booties.
Okay.
So even if it's stuck on the bottoms of their shoes, which is one component that we don't think about, it's carried. It's not carried. It's covered and contained within the facility.
So now, not bringing in any food would be the staff and the public.
Correct.
Is that correct? So when we rent the facility,
Yes.
That automatically assumes everything's
We provide.
being purchased.
We have multiple packages in the event studio.
Okay.
To be able to provide everything from tea and coffee to full service dinner.
Okay.
We don't outsource our catering. So we only cater with our executive chef in our event studio. So you can't call up and order a lasagna to take it to go. It's something that I'd entertain in the future, but right now we're mostly a dessert bakery.
Okay.
But you can't just feed dessert to 30 people when you're doing a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah.
Right.
In the event studio, it tends to be on the smaller side. So it's, 30, 60 people.
Okay.
It's a smaller venue and more intimate venue. Yeah. And usually there's a creative component to it, whether cake decorating or painting or those sorts of things. More of a community space is how we've built it.
Okay.
As opposed to high end. Well, it is high end, but it's not fancy like a banquet hall.
Right. Okay.
It has a little bit more of a casual feel to it.
And then you had touched on earlier that you do wholesale.
We do.
So are these to any local companies?
We do. We provide packaged product, our cookies, our brownies, and our blondies, as well as those are our top sellers.
What are the blondies?
Blondies and brownies.
That? Okay.
Blondies like a vanilla brownie with chocolate chips.
Oh, okay.
And our brownies, which we both do regular and gluten-free. We have 8 flavors of cookies. We also do them in mini form, so we do like a mixed bag of mini cookies.
Okay.
Those are probably our biggest seller, our mini cookies. And we provide those to boutique grocery stores across the GTA, and it's growing in numbers as to where you can find us.
Okay. But we can still order them from you.
You can order directly,
but we can find them in some boutique stores.
Correct. You can order them directly from us. For pickup, we also are all e-commerce online. So a lot of our regular products you can buy online, including our cupcakes.
Okay.
And you can even order your birthday cake right online.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
Build your own birthday cake right on our website.
Now, do you get, obviously you have all the standard stuff we need on your website as we're ordering, but can we have any special requests or?
Special request goes through our catering division. Okay. So we actually have 5 divisions within the business. We have our retail, so your everyday stuff, your cookies, your brownies, your blondies, your birthday cakes. We have direct to customer catering. When you're planning a wedding or bar mitzvah or a confirmation or first birthday. First birthdays are really big right now. Yes. And smash cakes and those sorts of things. We do a lot of those. Cute. That goes through our retail catering division. And then we have a wholesale division where we supply to caterers, venues, businesses, those sorts of things. Okay. We have our grocery account where they go to independent boutique grocery stores. Okay. That's
now, are
4.
Is it pickup only, or do you deliver?
We deliver as well. We deliver anywhere in the GTA.
Okay, great. Okay. And what would be your favorite item on your menu to bake?
To bake or to eat?
Oh, to bake.
To bake.
First to bake.
What do I like to bake? It's a good question. I like baking pies.
Yeah?
We do pies.
Okay.
I like to bake pies. I love anything lemon. Lemon curd. I'll eat that straight. I actually like lemon with chocolate.
Really?
Just kind of an interesting combination. Dark chocolate and lemon is my favorite, as well as anything chocolate and salt. So like a salted caramel with chocolate.
Right.
Or chocolate, and we do a salted caramel square where it's a layer of pretzel. It's a pretzel shortbread type crust with a layer of salted caramel covered with chocolate, dark chocolate, and sprinkled with sea salt.
Okay, you're making me really hungry. I'm on a new healthy lifestyle, so it's not going to be very good for me. So you're listening to Rock Your Biz on Whistle FM, and I'm here with Karen Fleischer from Easy Sweets, learning all about her business. So give us some tips, Karen. So when we want to order or we want to rent your space, what is it we forget to tell you or we don't clarify at the time that you need us to know?
I would say budget.
Okay.
I would say that's the biggest thing that we struggle with. People want the Lexus for the price of the 10-year-old Ford.
Right.
Really being able to look at what you're getting for your value and the quality in which you're seeking.
Right.
To be able to get your cake dream come true. How we can do that, and the best way I find is to work backwards. Start with how much you want to spend and how can we make that spectacular without the opposite going, oh well, I want this and I want this and I want the 4-tiered wedding cake for the price of a birthday cake doesn't quite work.
Right.
So let us work the other way around.
So, yeah, obviously the cake is always the biggest and best thing, the centerpiece. Now, if we're working on platters, maybe fruit platters, fruit trays, sweet trays, what's the best bang for a buck? What are we looking for there?
I would say cookies. Cookies are probably the best bang for your buck.
Okay.
You get enough variety and squares.
Okay.
So let's say you went smaller on a cake, but added some decorative aspects, cake pops and cookies, and then added to that to be able to stretch your budget. Right. So it all coordinates, but the bulk of what you're buying is, I like to call, your everyday sweets.
Right.
Your cookies, your squares that give you the variety, but without...
Okay. It also looks a little bit more, you got a little bit more variety. People are picking
it gives you more.
Instead of that big chunk of just
as opposed to just, your 4-tier wedding cake. Go smaller, go more detailed with it.
Okay.
And then be able to fill in with other yummy stuff.
Okay. Now, do people nowadays really do the full 4-tier cake, or back in the olden days, I guess if I'm dating myself, half of that was styrofoam, right?
It is. A lot of it's,
really
it goes both ways. I see where people just do wedding cake.
Wow.
They've gone back to the trend of just wedding cake and fruit on the table.
Right.
So they're serving the wedding cake. Or they do a fake wedding cake.
Yeah.
And a small single tier, and they do cupcakes and other things that match, things on sticks and arrangements and that sort of stuff, as opposed to just cake.
Okay, and then you can still do the fake cake for them?
We still do the fake cakes. I did a 5-tier fake cake for a wedding show last week.
Nice.
And went to lift it, and I was like, wait a second, this doesn't weigh anything, and it was all fake.
Deliver that?
Yes.
So nobody in the wedding party is responsible for wrecking the cake?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then they usually do cupcakes and something that is more servable, less costly, more cost effective. When you get into 4-tiered cakes, there's a lot of structure. There's a lot of structuring that goes into that cake.
Absolutely.
And a lot of reinforcement, because cake and gravity do not work well together.
Right.
We the bigger the cake, the more styrofoam we actually suggest. And people think that, but you're not putting cake in it. Is there, huge significance in cost? And generally not. You're still, it's the decorative work, the details that are timely and costly versus the cake itself. Right. So once you get into the structuring of the cake and having to set up 4 or 5 tiers of a wedding cake, generally it's about 2 to 3 tiers that we do. Or we now have cake stands that look like tiers. So you have a little cake on top for look that you cut into. A lot of people put it away, or half of it away.
Do people still do that?
People still do it. They put their wedding cake away. When I got married, I didn't even have cake.
Oh, wow.
And probably when I have my divorce party, I won't have cake either.
There you go. Is there parties for that?
There is.
Oh my God, they must be the best parties.
A huge surge
That's
of
awesome.
Of
Not so awesome, but it must be fun.
Of divorce cakes.
Level.
Yeah, and divorce parties.
Very cool. And where do we find you? What's your website?
www.easysweets.ca.
Okay. Now, if you could give us one, you've built this business, you've done an amazing job, you're great at marketing it. Give us one great thing we should be doing to market our business.
Love what you do.
Awesome.
When you stop loving what you do, you're doing it wrong.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for all the information.
Thank you.
Don't forget to join us on rockyourbiz.ca. Come join us on or offline. The only 2 rules are to be authentic and have fun. See you then.
You've been listening to Rock Your Biz with Tracy Sheldrake on Whistle FM. If you'd like to get more information about the various networking programs, all you have to do is drop by our website at